Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. It's good. All right, looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, as people start to join in, I'm gonna go up to the daily time frame, and I'm gonna start market liquidity here. So let's start market liquidity here on the daily. All right, going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. Going down to the 2-hour time frame. Going down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Going down to the 15-minute. Going down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. So I've marked liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity is going to be down below at 38,478. That's going to be the closest level down below. There's no level above. Let me see if there's anything nearby. Closest level above is going to be at 38,682. So level above 38,682, level below at 38,478. Those are going to be the closest two levels of liquidity on our chart. Here is our clean chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go up to the 4-hour time frame, identify structure. So we got structure right here. Structure way up here. Price probably not going to get there. And right there. Got some more structure down here. Go down to the 1 hour. That's more structure right here. All right, so with that said, got the 4-hour resistance level up here. And we got the 1-hour support level down here. It's pretty far off, so price is probably not going to get to these points, but I'll have them marked up just in case. So we got the levels marked up right there. But again, price is pretty far off from those points. So we'll see what happens when price gets down to there. ATR is currently at 7 right now, so it's pretty normal pre-market, very low ATR. Looks like today might be sort of a normal market. If you guys were on the live session yesterday, you guys saw that price was in a pretty big range. And that's probably what's going to happen today as well. So with that said, let's go over here to our main chart. I believe there's some news this morning. So we had news at 4:30 and 5:55. Mark that up, 4:30. Let's see 5:55 first, which was right there, and 4:30, which was right there. All right, so we had Red Book at 5:30, and then we had building permits at 4:30. It was positive. We have high impact news at 6:45. It's S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, Composite PMI, and Services PMI. This is the biggest news for today. It's just inflation news. They're forecasted to be positive, so we'll see how that plays through. And then we have news again at 7 o'clock, which is home sales for March. It's kind of weird because I swear we had this last week and we're having it again, but I guess last week was April's and then this is March's, which is kind of early, but, or no, March of last month. I don't know, we'll see. I guess they're just reporting it late. But we have news at 6:45 and 7 o'clock, so I'm gonna mark it up over here. News at 6:45, 7. So we'll see if we have some entries before then. Kind of doubt it because we're gonna wait for market to stabilize a bit after market open. So probably not before, but probably after. So we'll probably be looking for some entries after 7 o'clock. And that's fine with me because from there we can look for how market reacts to the news events. So that's all we got right there. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 60% short. This indicates that 60% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. So we'll probably be looking for some buys today. Not sure if that's going to be the biggest or the main buys for today, but we'll see as market opens up in a few minutes here. So let's see who's here in the room so far. We've got Sadie. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, guys. Looks like people are still making their way in. But other than that, I think we are good for right now. Morning, Delicia. All right, guys. So we will be waiting for markets to open up here in about 2 minutes. Looking over here at the PRV chart, we currently have a bullish bias with regard to the trend for the pivots and the trend meter down below. So we'll be looking for a possible buy here for the PRV. Looking over here at the breakout V3, there's no double body or double wicks right now, so there's nothing for us to really pull away from here at this very moment. So other than that, guys, market's going to open up in about a minute. And we'll see where this ends up going. Hey, Jay, morning. Morning, Andreas. Morning, everybody. All right, we got a minute till open. See what the market's got for us today. But just a reminder, guys, so yesterday was a ranging market. So today, wouldn't expect anything less. Probably get a big range initially. And then when news happens over here, we'll see where that ends up pushing price. We might get some consolidation until news. And then at 6:45, we got the first news event, which is high impact. All right, guys, market is opening up in about 20 seconds. We got 10 seconds till market open. Market's opening up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So we're getting that big spike right there, pretty normal for opening price. You know, market opening price for all of our charts here. trying to figure out a way how to mute my Discord for people who are like hitting me up during the live session. I'm gonna look for that after. All right, so we got everything marked up here, guys. As I mentioned, the closest level of liquidity is going to be down below over here at 38,478. And the closest level above is going to be at 38,682. So the ATR is still pretty low right now. It's currently at 10. So with ATR being so low, there's not really much opportunity for entries here anyways to begin with. So for the MPS, you would need at least 15 ATR. For the breakout V3 continuation, I think we discussed about having that at around 15 ATR as well. But we'll see. I mean, ATR will probably pick up as we get closer to news. Looks like price might just do what we mentioned earlier. It's probably going to consolidate up until news at 645, which is high impact. And then at that point, price will probably establish a range. So you can see where price is rejecting off right now. It's rejecting directly off news price and the pivots. Not really too much here. All right. Now price coming down a little bit, which is fine. So we're getting some volatility here. It's still not super high. ATR is still at 12. These previous two candles here are pretty big compared to the others, but they're not they're not really out of the ordinary. It's just the previous candles over here were so small that these over here are looking so big. So we got price coming down right here. Looks like the trend might be shifting to a bearish trend. It's completely fine. There's no entries here for us to take, so it's all good. So we'll continue looking for opportunities here. We're looking for some MPS, which is probably not going to be available anytime soon. Breakout V3 continuations, some CV entries, momentum divergence, etc. There's no like set strategies right now because depending on how many confluences there are, like if we see a trade push to the upside and we have an opportunity for a high-low scalp, triple confluence, V1 variation, etc., we might be inclined to take those trades. So for the most part, I mean, the main strategies that we're kind of looking for are MPS, breakout V3 continuation, and the CV entries, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to take anything else. Because you guys saw last week, we took the high-low scalp, which was perfect. And it went in conjunction with a couple other confluences we had as well. But there's nothing going on here. This is pretty much doing what we expected. I expected price to consolidate a bit. This is high impact news at 645. It's a bunch of inflation news. And that's where I'm expecting movement to actually happen. Going over here to CNBC. So CNBC just reported right now. They said stocks rise for a second day as earnings seasons ramp up. Dow's up 100 points. And as soon as they reported this at 6:30, price actually came right back down. So market opened up right here at 6:30. They said the Dow was up and price came crashing down right here. So just keep that in mind, guys. Thanks, Maddie, for the link there. Keep an eye out for CNBC news. That's pretty much where all the manipulation starts from. So you saw there, it literally happened right at 6:30. So you can see the timestamp from when they reported it. 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right there, 6:30 Pacific. As soon as they said the Dow was up, price came crashing down. So just pay attention to that. There's a couple key things here. A lot of people don't realize they're just small things that happen in the market that we can take advantage of. So we got nothing over here right now. We're just waiting. Price is currently rejecting off these sessions down here. Area of manipulation. And again, we're just waiting. So we got the trend over here shifting. The trend starts to shift and we'll start looking for some sells, but at this very moment, it hasn't confirmed yet. You can see price is having trouble getting past the sessions down here. So we'll see how price reacts to the sessions. 6:35 right now. We got news coming up in about 10 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if price just sits down here for a bit. I just sit down here, consolidate, wait for news to happen. If news is forecasted to be positive, so with the news being positive, we might get a bullish push from there. It's not really that big of a jump though. So it's forecasted right here. Last month was 51.9. They're forecasting it to be 52 today. It's up by like a point. It's not very much, or a decimal of a point, not necessarily a whole point. So we'll see. All right. So we got price sitting here just like we thought. Price is attempting to get past these sessions right there. We'll see if price fakes out and swings back up or if it continues dropping from here. Two things can happen. So two different scenarios here. Typically when price gets near the sessions, or three scenarios. So one scenario is price will just consolidate around this area. That's scenario one. Scenario two is price fakes out down here and comes right back up. Scenario three is price breaks and retests the area and continues dropping from there. So there's just too many scenarios here that can play out. And that's why you don't want to trade around the sessions, because if you trade around the sessions, you could be wrong two out of the three times. Two out of the three times. So it's tricky. You typically want to have a scenario where you can be right or wrong, 50-50. But in a scenario like this, where you can be like there's three different scenarios that can play out. You definitely don't want to be stuck in it. So you can see right here, the fake out's happening. It's doing one of the scenarios that I mentioned. But again, this could be another fake out. So price could fake out and then it can just consolidate around here. So typically when you're looking for an entry, you want to look for two different scenarios. You want to look for a scenario where you're right, and you want to look for a scenario where you're wrong. Right here, you can be right, wrong, or in between. So it looks like price here is just going to consolidate. We got news in about 13 minutes, maybe less, 12 minutes. And there goes the consolidation that we just mentioned. So there's no PRB entries here, at least not yet. There is no breakout V3 entries here, not yet, because there's no double body, double wicks. Here's our clean chart. I'll mark up structure in a few. I guess I could start marking up structure here. So we do have a 1 minute support level right here. And we have a 1 minute resistance up here. So this is the current range as of now. This can change once the news comes out, because the news will actually push price past these levels. But as of now, this is the zones and levels which we're currently at. All right. So as you guys can see, fake outs in both directions. So there's a fake out down here, fake out right here. Looks like price might just pull back into the consolidation down here. Just wait for the news. News here at 6:45 is really going to push price. So we'll see where it pushes price. We'll see if it goes in the direction that it's supposed to. For me personally, I like to see price get manipulated. So although they have bullish consensus here, I prefer it to drop below. So I actually want it to drop below, and then I want to see it correct back up. That's typically how I want to see it. And it's doing exactly what we anticipated here. So price is consolidating within this area. And we just gotta wait. So it's just gonna be a matter of time until news comes out, another 5 minutes or so. Once news comes out, we'll be able to identify, where is it likely to push after that. So you just got to be patient, guys. I think patience is the biggest problem for a lot of people. A lot of people just get FOMO and just want to be in a position, or they want to get into a position before news, or they want to follow the news move. And that's how a lot of people get burned. So 5 minutes till news here. I'm probably not going to take any trades for the next 10 minutes. As you guys know, 5 minutes before and after news is typically going to be the time when price gets most manipulated and where price reacts to the news event. So no trades for me for the next 10 minutes. Just going to sit. ATR is currently at 16 right now, so it's nothing crazy. It's normal ATR. I wouldn't be surprised if news comes out, this thing jumps up to 20. So I just wait. So we got the fake out right there, fake out right here. So you guys can see how I mentioned earlier, there's 3 different scenarios and you can get screwed in all 3, right? You could have chased the sell here. You could have gotten faked out. You could have chased the buy here. You could have gotten faked out. Now, if you got into this here, price is now in consolidation. At this point, now you can get screwed a 3rd time because when news comes out, it's going to spike up or it's going to spike down. So whenever you guys take a trade, make sure that there's like 2 scenarios, not 3 scenarios. Make sure that price is moving directional. It's not really just sitting sideways, because the last thing you want to do is get caught in the first fake out, get caught in the second fake out, and then now you're stuck in consolidation. Because at this point, you're really just taking a chance now. And that's how a lot of people build their accounts, right? 3 back-to-back losses. That's going to put you in a really deep hole, if not a blown account. So we got news coming up right here shortly. We got another 3 minutes. You guys can see where the blue line's at. And price is probably just going to sit right here. It's going to sit, go sideways for a bit. See what happens shortly. So any updates from the news? Fundamentals right now are currently bullish neutral. They're currently 80 points in the green, which is not very high. Retail sentiment is at 59%. Looks like a lot of people are sitting out right now. Went from 60 to 59. And we'll see what happens here. 2 minutes till news. All right, so there's a current range right there. Not much going on. Price going back and forth. Once we get a higher high here, I'll mark up the upper structure. And we'll have a better idea as to where the range is at. The range isn't as heavy as it was yesterday. So yesterday, the range was pretty smooth. It established a high, established a low, and it just stayed within that range for the entire session. For today, price is kind of just sitting around. We have the PRB setting up right here. We currently have a bearish bias with regard to the PRB. We had the first rejection candle, which was, I'll say right here. This next candle looks like it could be the space consolidation candle as long as this doesn't touch any of the pivots. So if it pushes up a little too much, might reject off that pivot. Otherwise, this could be the space candle, and the next following candle could be the actual entry. So price came down a bit. Looks like this is now rejecting off the pivot. So this is no longer going to be the space candle. Yeah, we'll come back to it later. It's probably going to happen after the news event. All right, we got 1 minute till news. It's the main news event for today. See how price reacts to that. All right, 50 seconds till news. PRB did not set up. Still setting up. There's no breakout V3s. See how this reacts to the news. We got news in 20 seconds. All right, this looks like this could be setting up or not. Possibly space candle with a PRB. Price is pretty far from liquidity. Got some space there. And there goes the news candle. See that big spike right there? Huge spike to the upside. Let me mark up news right there. And again, this is why we don't trade news. You get caught on the wrong side very, very easily. All right, so the news over here was actually negative. So price will probably come back down. Yeah, all negative. So we had manufacturing PMI, which was negative, composite PMI negative, services PMI all negative. So this right here is all manipulation. This is what I wanted to happen. So I actually want price to be manipulated here because we know that price is supposed to come back down. So we could just wait for that correction. The correction is probably going to happen eventually, but you guys can see this is what we were looking to avoid, manipulation. That's why I always tell you guys to don't trade news because you never know. Like this was forecasted to be positive, but it came out a lot worse. It was forecasted to be 52. It was 49.9. This was forecasted to be 52.2. This was 50.9. And this was forecasted to be 52 as well. It was 50.9. So it was pretty off. And I mean, we'll see what happens here. So expect a correction back down. The correction doesn't have to happen, but I do expect a correction to happen eventually. Because I think, so now we have a big gap. So whenever people say, oh, this gap needs to be filled, this is a gap that I'm talking about. It's not where there's a missing candle. The gap is when there's a big push to the upside, which is manipulation. This is the gap that needs to be filled right back down. So we got this whole space here that needs to be filled. And you can see we're starting to get that big candle right here. There's no entry here yet, but it is coming back down, as you guys can see. So I know a lot of people talk about gaps like from Friday, from the market close, they're like, oh, the price needs to fill that gap. Not really, like that's not considered a gap to me. A gap is when price gaps up and then needs to correct back down. So one of two things could happen here. Price will probably just range within this area. If that happens, and this is just going to be the new range. If not, then well, I think this will be the new range. So I think price will establish a higher high like it did right here. I'm going to go to our clean chart and I will, well, the higher high pretty much lined up with the 4-hour resistance. So we already have structure up there. We don't need to draw any new structure, but that's pretty much the range for today. So the actual range for today is going to be this 4-hour resistance level. So between this 4-hour resistance to this 1-minute support, this is the actual range for today. So we got a lot of space here. Price corrects back down. We got this whole space right here to trade in this area. So what might happen here is price might just range and consolidate around this area first, and then eventually it'll correct back down. It's going to have to correct at some point. Well, kind of depends. If the news later on right here at 7 o'clock is bullish, then I mean, price might just stay up here. It might just balance out. So we just got to look for this news here at 7 o'clock. It's another high impact news, new home sales and new home sales month over month. Looking at the news or the predictions. So new home sales for the month are looking like they're supposed to be positive, slightly positive. And the month over month is looking to be positive as well. It was negative 0.3 last month, and they're forecasting to be 2.7. So, I mean, if that's the case, price might just stay up here. We might not get that correction back down. Or what might happen here is you might get a manipulation back down, and then it'll just flatline it around this area here. So, we do have some time between now and 7 o'clock though. So if I do see something good, I may be looking for a possible entry here, but not yet. So I'll let you guys know because I'm looking at the momentum divergence here. We need to have the retracement first. Once we have the retracement, we might have enough space here to catch a quick little move before 7 o'clock, right? A quick little 10 points before 7 o'clock. The only problem here is that we're going to be going against news correction because the news correction is supposed to be to the downside. So I'm going to have to really analyze it before I take anything here, but I'll be looking. So we'll see here what comes up next. All right, so divergence here isn't very clear. It could actually diverge to the bottom. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, divergence like this, I wouldn't mess with it. If it's too close like that, it needs to be like pretty clear. So I'm obviously not going to be looking at this divergence entry. I need it to for sure be a divergence. Like this right here is just a little too close. Let's see, Daniel said NPS hit full TP, didn't take it since it's ranging. Yeah, I wouldn't take NPS right there either. Yeah, actually, I don't even think I'm going to take a momentum divergence here because it's not even looking like price is going anywhere. It's kind of just sitting up here. It might just sit until a news event over here at 7 o'clock. So price is coming back down finally. Yeah, there we go. So we're getting that. It's filling the gap that I just mentioned earlier. This big green candle, price is filling the gap right here. So you want to be careful taking trades in either direction because you might get caught in, I mean, you get caught in manipulation to the downside for the correction, or you can get caught in the manipulation to the upside. So you might want to take, like, if you're looking to take a buy here, price might just keep dumping because it hasn't filled this gap yet. Yeah, it's actually moving a little crazy right here. So the divergence is actually looking a lot better. So you can see over here that the divergence is super obvious now. It did retrace back. And if it does swing back up, this could be a possibility for the correction. Yeah, exactly. Drew said reeled in a bunch of buyers. Exactly. So you just want to be super, super careful here. Okay, so this is setting up for the PRB though. So that's one thing. One thing here is that it is setting up for the PRB. The thing that you want to keep in mind is that there's a bunch of red flags here. There's opening price, there's news price. We got news coming up again over here at 7 o'clock. It's kind of a tricky area to be trading in if anybody's looking to trade around this point. One thing that we could look out for here is we could look out for a possible breakout V3 continuation back up. So that's one thing that I might be looking for. The price point I'd be looking for price to push up past would be the higher high right here, because that would be considered like a high-low scalp. So there's a lot of different confluences here that are starting to line up. We need that sell signal. I was hoping the sell signal would come up because if you have that sell signal, it could start setting up for a breakout V3 continuation. It didn't end up closing right there. Yeah, exactly. Drew said Trap Tuesday. Trap Tuesday in full effect, exactly. I keep forgetting Trap Tuesday. Trap Tuesday is such a common thing for us now, but we always forget to mention it. But yeah, today is Trap Tuesday for the most part. All right, so we got price pushing back up right here. We're getting close to news though, so I'm not sure if we're going to have any opportunities here for entry. The PRB could be setting up here, guys. So if we get a rejection off the pivot right here, this could be a possible PRB entry. So if this candle here closes green, this could be a PRB entry for anybody who's looking to take the PRB. I'm not going to take the trade. As you guys know, I'm not taking the breakouts anymore. I'm kind of just holding off on them. I'm taking the continuations, but not necessarily the actual breakouts. Divergence here hasn't confirmed yet, but if price does push up higher, it can confirm a possible divergence. So probably not on this candle, but on the next one. So there we go, 5 seconds left on this. Okay, so if this candle right here closes green, this could be a possible momentum divergence entry. This could be setting up for a possible high-low scalp as it pushes up higher. But it is getting close to news, like Maddie said. Yeah, it's getting a little too close to news, so I'm probably not going to take this. So this is the PRB entry. And this right here could be a momentum divergence. It's just a little too close to news right now. So I think I'm going to hold off on this here. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said it could hit or it could manipulate before news. Not going to take the risk. Yeah, same here, Maddie. So I'll follow it. I'm not going to take the trade, but I'll follow it here. It's just a little too close to news, like Maddie said. Yeah, it's 5 minutes within. So hold CP right there if anybody decided to take it. But it is just too close to news. 5 minutes till news. And you can see right there, hit CP, came right back down. So I'll wait for the next opportunity. There's going to be more opportunities. That's a good thing about taking these scalps here is that you don't, if you miss a trade, it's fine. There's another trade that's going to come up. So wait for the next one. PRV is still running. Looks like it's about to hit its full TP. If price breaks that higher high, which it probably will, yeah, there you go. Full TP for the PRV as well. So full TP for PRV and full TP for the momentum divergence right here. Pretty smooth push to the upside. Price is now within the 4-hour resistance level. So if you guys took those trades, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. Better to be safe right now. Pre-news. So we got price pushing up. It's still not at the upper level of liquidity right there, but it is getting close. So the upper level of liquidity is right up here. All right, we got news in about 4 minutes, guys. High impact news, so just be patient. New home sales right here. It's forecasted to be positive. So see, that sell signal never came up. If that sell signal came up earlier, I would have been more inclined to take the buy here because it would have been a breakout V3 or it would be a pivot scalp. But you know, it just didn't meet the criteria there. Yeah, Medusa had full TP on the high-low scalp. There's also another high-low scalp here that I was mentioning earlier. Price broke and closed past the higher high. It was a full TP, but it looks like Medusa sat out on it too, which is fine. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when it's so close to news right here. So, all right, we got news in about 3 minutes. This is what I kind of hate about when there's news at like in the middle of the session, and especially when they're back to back because it kind of messes with your entries. Nicholas is asking, don't you need a pullback for a high-low scalp? No. So for the high-low scalp, you just need a break and close past the higher high, any high-low. So you have bullish momentum, bullish trend. You have a price break and close past the high or whatever low, and that'd be the high-low scalp right there. I think you're talking about the version 2, Nicholas. That's a different strategy. This is a regular high-low scalp. Yeah, I think you're talking about it's a different strategy. It's like the version 2 or something. I forgot what we called it, but it's a totally different strategy. Let's see what else we got here. All right, we got news coming up in about 2 minutes. Let me check there's not really much to check here. Price is currently bullish right now. We'll just have to see what comes out here, but this is forecasted to be positive. Last month was 0.662. This month is forecasted to be 0.668. And then new home sales is obviously a big number right there. It was negative 0.3, forecasted to be 2.7. All right, so we're just waiting here. No other entries available here at the moment. I preferably I'd like to see a sell signal. So I want a sell signal to come up here so we can get the confirmation of retracement. But I mean, it wouldn't really matter too much because once we have the news come out, I mean, price can really just spike down or spike up. Preferably, again, I'd prefer price to spike down and then we have the correction back up if the news is positive, which it's supposed to be. So we got the news over here in about 20 seconds. And then hopefully from there, we can start looking for some opportunities here. So for me personally, I'd rather see price come down and then I'm okay with it correcting back up because the news here is supposed to be positive. So we got 5 seconds till news. Let's see how price reacts to it. And here goes the news candle right here. All right, news was positive, just like expected. It was actually really positive. So looking at this right here, it was forecasted to be 2.7, it was actually 8.8. And then, yeah, big numbers here. for new home sales. See, new home sales month over month and new home sales for the month of March are up very big, which is normal. So if you guys understand how the housing market works, you know, that's normal for the housing market because we're going from winter season up until spring season. More people buy houses during the spring versus the winter because they don't want to be moving when it's all cold and rainy and stuff like that. So that's normal, but it was a pretty big number. So we're seeing price here come down a little bit. I prefer it to come down even more. And then once we have that drop down, I'm hoping price will come down, provide us a sell signal, and then we can get the correction back up. So hoping price comes down, give us a correction, and then come back up. If it doesn't, that's completely fine. We start looking for a possible momentum divergence at some point here. So yeah, just gotta wait for this opportunity, but there's just nothing here yet. All right, we got price pushing up right here. It's right at news price though. So the momentum divergence wouldn't be available, at least not yet. I would want it to close above, but I also like a sell signal. All right, so let's go to our clean chart. You can see that price is pretty much sitting in between the 4-hour resistance and the 1-minute resistance level. This is kind of what we talked about earlier. I said this is probably going to be the consolidation area, and eventually price will probably come back down into this lower area, or it'll push up further and break past the 4-hour resistance. But right now, price is just consolidating within this middle area right here. Not really too much going on. Momentum divergence is not setting up. Again, like I said, preferably, I prefer that the sell signal come up. So this is what I'm looking for and what I kind of want to happen here. I want a sell signal to come up. I want a buy signal to come up, and I want a continuation, breakout V3 continuation. I don't forget it, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. If not, I'll probably look for a possible momentum divergence. That's gonna be another thing I'll be looking for. Sell signal right here again, pending. Yeah, Nick said hopefully it rejects off the opening price and comes right back up. That's kind of what I'm looking for too. So I'm hoping we get that sell signal and corrects back up. You guys can see the volatility here is kind of mixed. Some candles are like really small, some of them are a little big. All right, we got the sell signal here pending again. No closure. All right, we got 10 seconds here. Let's see if the sell signal actually closes or if it just swings right back up from where it's currently at. I mean, realistically, price is just ranging. Back to our clean chart here. Nothing's really going on. There we go. Now price is back below. We got the sell signal. It's rejecting off the pivot. We're getting a double body rejection right here. This could be a possible CB entry. I mean, the candle might be a little too big, so probably not, but this is a double body reversal pattern, as you guys know. So we'll see how this candle here closes. If you guys want to take it as a CB, I mean, you guys technically can. I think it's a little risk. Well, actually, no, it's touching opening price. So it's a red flag. Yeah, it's touching opening price right here. So I'll just wait for the follow-up over here for a breakout V3 continuation, possible momentum divergence, possible pivot scalp. A lot of different opportunities here. So there goes the CB entry right there. I mean, I'm not taking it because of the red flag, but that's just the setup. So that was the setup that we were looking for. Basically a double body rejection in the direction of the trend with a smaller following candle. That's a CB entry right there, full TP. Didn't take it, but I just wanted to mark it up so you guys can see. And a lot of you guys are still trying to learn that strategy. So we got price here. It's currently getting stuck at the news price, which is pretty normal. You got a pending buy signal on this candle right here. The only problem is that it's right at the session. So this would be a pivot scalp entry if anybody's starting off the session, the news price. This would be a pivot scalp entry if anybody's looking to take it like that. It's just a little too tricky because it's right at news price. You can see it's rejecting directly off it. It's an area of manipulation. So for me personally, I'd rather have price kind of push up a little further, maybe up here, so that we have some space away from the news price right here. So news price is still going to be considered red flag. So I'd like to push up a little bit further. So there's some space, and then a possible continuation further from there. Yeah, Maddie said if this closes, this could be a triple confluence. The only problem again is that it's at news price, so it's a little tricky. A little tricky. Yeah, Nick said that the news was high impact, so it's for sure a red flag. Yeah, exactly. So I'm okay if this momentum doesn't close here. I actually want to push it a bit higher anyways. So I'm all right with it kind of just sitting there. Okay, if this here closes, I want it to close a bit higher so it's away from the news price. So I want that buy signal to close above it, and then after that, we'll have a breakout V3 continuation. Go figure. It's doing what we pretty much anticipated. So this is it's consolidating within the it's consolidating within the 4-hour resistance and the 1 minute. So nothing new here. This is what we kind of talked about this whole time. I said price is probably going to consolidate here. We really want price to push out of this consolidation. It's not going to make a difference because there's news price right there, so it's not going to do anything for us. We'll be looking for price to push out of this area or even below. It doesn't really matter which direction price pushes, but it's got to push above or below. And this area right here doesn't really matter because it's in consolidation. And then on top of that, it's right in between news price. So we'll continue to wait here and look for a better opportunity, I guess. Eventually, it's going to break out of this consolidation. So we can't stick in here forever. It's going to break out eventually. It's just a matter of time until it does. So it's got to wait. Yeah, Sadie said the market's just grilling us. Exactly. It's grilling us for skipping out on those other entries over here that came up. And then on top of that, these candles are kind of blocky. So you see how the candles are moving right now? I'm kind of glad we're not in any positions right now because I don't like when these candles move like this. You can see how they're like blocking movements. Every couple of seconds, they just kind of they stump down or they stump up like that right there. They're not really smooth. It's not like a slow climb or a slow drop. It's just these little fat movements. All right, so we got another pending buy signal here. It's been pending buy for a while now. So like I said earlier, I want price to be up here. It's got to be a bit higher because I don't want the continuation to be too close to the news price here. You guys can see how price is respecting the news price right here. That's how you know it's an area to avoid. Yeah, Maddie said I want out of this range and out of news price. Exactly. Yeah, Maddie said it's been completely sideways since news. Yep. Sideways within this range right here. So let's see where this goes. It's trying to break below the range. The range below here is going to be opening price. So the range is pretty much between these two price levels here, opening price and news price right there. All right, how much going on here? All right, we got price projecting directly off the opening price right here. Opening price and the pivot level 4. We'll see if this starts to swing back up from where it's currently at. The divergence right now is currently bearish, so there's no bullish confirmations here right now, at least not yet. There's no buy signal or anything like that. All right. Volatility is a little low. So if we get a shift in trend over here, this is going to be a little tricky because there's so many red flags down here. Low news prices. No breakout V3s today, at least not yet. PRV hit TP. That's about it. No liquidity for today there. So the only entry that's actually come up today would probably be the PRV, which was a full TP, and then also there's another entry that came up over here. I believe it was momentum divergence. That's pretty much it. Other than that, nothing else. So what I would be okay with here as well is if we get a buy signal that would come up, but I think it'd be too close. Well, I guess we get a fake out. So I'd be okay with a fake out down here. Price climbs back up and then get, some sort of buy signal there with a divergence. The divergence would be key. Yeah, Drew said there's a V1 here pending, but it's not looking like it if this closes red. Yeah. If it was green, it would have been a V1. It's also touching opening price. I mean, the consolidation here is super obvious now. And we don't even have to go to a clean chart. As you can see, that's kind of just sitting between the opening price and news price right here. Volatility is getting a little low. All right, let's check see any updates. Nothing. Market's pretty much flat. No updates from the news. No updates at all. No other news for today until 8:30. Retail sentiment's back at 60% short. All right, that's fine. So we'll see if we get some movement here. Looks like we might be switching back to a bearish bias. Not a big deal. Only problem here again is going to be all these red flags. You guys can see exactly where price is rejecting off news price. That's why we avoid news price. So every time I see this and I see price rejecting directly off these lines here, I'm going to show you guys so that you guys understand because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. A lot of people like to avoid this or they like to ignore it, but it's a big deal when it comes down to avoiding a risky entry. So this is another possible CV entry here. I wouldn't take it again because it's at opening price. And of course, this candle right here is touching the news price, but the trend here is still bullish. And this could be a possible CV entry here. If this candle's smaller than this red one. This could possibly set up for a pivot scalp, breakout V3 continuation. Possible momentum divergence. The only problem here again is that price is at opening price. So this right here is setting up for momentum divergence. The only problem here is that it's at opening price. So it's again at a red flag. Yeah, so this right here could be a possible momentum divergence. I mean, I wouldn't take it because it's touching the opening price here. So what I'm looking at here is we can get a possible entry. Like if we get a buy signal here, and then we get another green candle after it, that could be a breakout V3 continuation. I'm trying to catch something that's not touching these red flags here. But or I mean, this candle might not even close with the buy signal, and the next one might be another one. Maria said MPS hit. Which MPS are you talking about, Maria? Because the trend here is bullish. You'd be looking for a buy for the MPS, but there hasn't been a buy signal yet. You got to make sure you're following the strategy properly, Maria, because you don't want to make mistakes taking or like looking at the strategy incorrectly. So you're fine, Maria. You just want to make sure you're not like doing it incorrectly, because if you start to develop bad habits, it's gonna bite you at the end, right? Because you're gonna make a mistake and you're not gonna understand why you made the mistake. Yeah, Kenny said not taking anything until it breaks out of the news candle range. Yeah, so what happened here is just a fake out. You can see how price pulled into this area here. It's faked out and it's trying to push back up. But again, price might come back down. So it's a tricky area right now where it's currently at. It's having a lot of trouble getting past the opening price right here. All right, so we have a pending buy signal here. We have momentum divergence right here for a buy. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm hoping this thing closes like maybe around like a little higher above the pivots. And then I'm gonna look for that breakout V3 continuation after. So the following green candle, not this one, but the next one after. I'm just hoping it doesn't push too high, because if it pushes too high, we're gonna get stuck at this news candle up here. And that's not gonna be what we want it to be at. So I do want the buy signal to close. I just don't want it to close too high, because we only got so much space here to trade between here and the news price. Okay, it's a little too high. I'm gonna drop down a little bit. If you guys want to take it as a pivot scalp, you can. I'm not going to take it at touching opening price. It's a red flag for me right there. All right, so this candle right here, if this candle closes green, this would be a breakout V3 continuation. Again, the only problem here is that it's going to be really close to the opening price, so I don't know if this is one I can take. It's just a little too close. I'll see how it closes though. Might not even close green. We got 30 seconds left on this candle right here. So this is as far as I'll let it go. If it goes too high, then obviously I'm going to skip it. But if it closes in between, then it can be okay for a breakout V3 continuation. Main thing is that it closes green. So we got the candle closing in about 10 seconds. Again, if it closes below this point, I'll take it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the position. So I'm in the position right there. Again, I gotta watch it because it's like really close to be a news candle right there, or news price. And I don't want to get caught in the manipulation right here, because it might just spike up, hit news price, and then come right back down. So I gotta watch it. Just watching it. And this range here sucks. And the volatility is kind of low. So watch it from there. I gotta pay attention to it. ATR is currently at 20 right now. I mean, I was expecting it to possibly push up really fast. Right there. Got close to it. Just watching it push up to, and this range sucks. I was hoping it's gonna blast right through it. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, yeah, I was right there. I guess push it back up. Watching it. It's close to it. All right. Got out. Full TP. There we go, guys. Looks like everybody's out.
Order filled.
Order filled. We're out. Full TP right there. I got another half. No, not half. I got a little more. So I got some slippage right there, but you guys can see it's probably going to push through and then blast right now it is. Of course it would. All right, it's all good. So full TP right there. It looks like everybody got out. And we're on to the next trade. All right, so entry came up right there at 719. We're on a pretty good win streak right now, guys. I think we have 16 back-to-back wins right now on these live sessions. So it's pretty smooth. I don't even remember what strategy was that. What was that? Breakout V3 continuation. Okay. BV3. All right. So little to no drawdown is pretty much straight out. So this is a breakout V3 continuation. Right there. So no MPS yet. I mean, if it pushes up higher, we can. It's just at these red flags right here. So the MPS would have to be like pretty high up, like up here, because it can't touch any of these red flags. But yeah, MPS could be setting up if it pushes up higher. Or actually, there was an MPS right here. I just didn't even. I guess there's an MPS running right now. No, actually, so I wouldn't have taken it because it's too, like, see how this candle here retraces down and it's touching the news price? You got to be really careful with the news candles or the news price because, you know, whenever price touches news or whatever these horizontal lines are, like whenever price touches any of these lines, what happens after it is typically manipulation, right? So you don't want to trade where like there's any red flags around your area. Because you can see over here, that's where the manipulation happened, right? Price came up, it touched the news price. And if you took your NPS right there, you're basically screwed because price is already getting manipulated on the next candle. So just be careful when you guys are looking for any entries in general. Like that's why this entry here, I was only okay with it if it was going to close at a certain level because anywhere higher, it'd be touching opening price. So yeah, I wouldn't have taken this MPS here. I wouldn't even have considered it. I would have waited for it to push, you know, past this area here so that you wouldn't be caught in any of this possible manipulation. So, all right, guys, let me screenshot my profits real quick, and then we will continue looking for maybe one more entry if possible. But if not, you know, of course, we're not going to force any trades here. So I think that's the main problem with a lot of people. It's just being impatient and forcing trades. And if you're able to prevent that, I mean, that's pretty much a game changer for you. It pretty much changes your whole trajectory of your trading. All right, so here goes my profits for the day. I locked in, I got close to my full TP on my main account, but obviously some slippage there. So my main account right here, I got 800. I was supposed to make 1,000, but I made 800, which is completely fine. Can't cry over that. And then my copiers over here made 600 because obviously there was some slippage with that big spike at the end. And then here's my personal account locked in 175. So those are the my profits so far. Looking over here at the team profits, we have Madhu with a total profit of 100 for the day. Nice work, Madhu. We've got Andreas, total profit of 1,100 for the day. Great work, Andreas. We've got Casey here, total profit of 419. And that looks like that's about it for right now. If you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for any possible opportunities here. Yeah, what Kevin said over here as well, he said MPS is a directional strategy and this range is nasty. Yeah, I agree. So I wouldn't have messed with it because of this range here. I mean, the range is pretty much as clear as it gets, right? Because you guys can see that the structure that I drew, The range is a little farther now because it's now faking out, but I mean the actual range, you know, where that entry came up was like right between this area. So I wouldn't have messed with it. And those are all good points. So all good points with your guys' own analysis on that. You know, you get burned trading it, you get burned taking a certain strategy a little too many times. You start to really understand, like, okay, I should definitely avoid this one because this is where I got burned in the past. And that's how you guys get better, right? You get better because it's all trial and error. It's about taking an entry, understanding where you made the mistakes, understanding where you didn't make the mistakes, and just getting better with each try. So same difference. We still have a bullish bias here, so we might have another opportunity here for a buy. Possibly another pivot scalp into momentum divergence here again. I mean, it's within this range again, so it kind of sucks. I don't like taking trades off momentum as much because it can kind of disappear at the last second. I prefer to take the breakout V3 continuations, but again, this might be a little too high. If it's too high, then I don't think I'm going to take that chance again if it ends up going a little too high. First time is okay, but the second time, you already see how risky this was here. When price touched the news price right there, you definitely don't want to be in the position at that point. So I don't want to put myself in that risk. I'm already in a win for today. I don't want to put myself in that risk where price could just bounce off this here. So I'll keep looking for an entry here, but if we don't find anything, of course, I'm not going to force anything. This entry came up at 719. I'm going to put this in spreadsheet for the day. 719. So today is April 23rd. That was a buy entry. It was a win for 10 points. So as you guys can see over here, we have we're in a pretty heavy win streak right now. So you guys see all this green right here? We're currently in a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're currently in a 15 win streak right now. We haven't lost a trade in 15 trades. So we're in a pretty good win streak right now, guys. Win ratio is pretty high right now, including like the BB3s that we lost earlier this month. We're currently at an 82% win rate. So we're back at a very, very high win rate. I mean, it's looking great. Profits aren't as heavy, but we're in a crazy win streak, right? Well, it's not even a crazy win streak. This is a normal win streak for us here. We have a possible breakout V3 continuation that's setting up right here, guys, again. I think I'm going to sit out on this one, though. Well, it's not even looking like it's going to close. But if it's a little too close, like I think this was kind of pushing it, honestly. This one was pushing it, but I still got into it. Yeah, if this thing closed too high, it's going to be another area of possible manipulation. This whole area is just a manipulated area. As you guys can tell, it's pretty obvious. When price gets near opening price right here, it gets manipulated. Price goes up, it's manipulated. Let's see, say you said range is getting narrow. Sort of, yeah, it kind of is. It's having fake outs on the outside, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's getting narrow because if it didn't have the fake outs, then yeah, I would agree with that 100% because you would see it getting tighter and tighter, right? But you can see how price fakes out. Like if you were to disregard the fake outs, then yeah, 100%. Because this area right here, this would have to be basically disregarded, right? Like you'd have to disregard this and probably disregard this push outside. If you had this right here, then yeah, for sure. You know, getting tighter for the breakout. The only problem here is that if you know, a lot of people are looking at this how you're looking at it. So what happens is people get faked out again, right? Because they think, oh, this is getting tighter. They think price is going to push out, and they think price is going to push, but it's actually just going to come right back in. So yeah, if it's a clean, narrow drawdown, like going in closer, then I think it'll break out. But because it's not, and it's faking out on like both of these sides down here and up here, I think it's just going to keep faking out. It's going to keep screwing with people. Because you guys can see here, if you're taking buys or sells, you can get screwed on both sides. Like you can take a buy here and then price stops you out. You can take a sell here and then price stops you out. You can take another buy here, price stops you back out. It's a mess. And it's typical for Trap Tuesday. You know, today being Trap Tuesday is no surprise. This is kind of what we expected. It's just a typical Tuesday for us. Nothing And the ATR is also dying down. So you guys can see the ATR is now at 17. It was at 22 earlier, went down to 20, went down to 19, now it's at 17. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll keep following it here. 7:30 right now, so it's getting like about 10 minutes until 7:40. If I don't see anything come up from now until then, obviously I'm not going to take anything. But and there we go, the big bullish push right here. See if it's finally breaking out of this range or if it's another fake out. So what you want to do here is you want to wait for the confirmation. You want to make sure that price breaks out of it and it continues climbing. If that's the case, then okay, there's no fake out. But if price pushes up just to like right here, and it kind of just sits right here for a little bit, it might just come right back down. So it's finally pushing. It's getting out of this range now. Looks like there's some sort of institution or some sort of entity that's pushing price up. Jay said something's still not right. I don't think you set up your copier, Jay. Here, let's see. You sent me a couple messages. Jay said, okay, what I'm trying to say is I was able to sign in with my Apex, but it's not letting me use my original. Jay, so this is your TradingView account and this is your Apex account. So you're logged in on both for these here. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but you said, okay, what I'm trying to say is I was able to sign with my Apex info, but it's not letting me. I have to use my original TradingView account. This right here says Tradeovate. So this is your Tradeovate account and this is your TradingView account. So, so what are you trying to do, Jay? Because you're trying to set up your copier over here as well. You haven't set up your copier yet. You got to click on manage groups and then a pop-up will come up and then you'll set your accounts to which ones you want to copy. You have to use your copier doesn't work on TradingView, it works on Tradeovate. So if you're trying to set up your copier on Tradeovate, you can't do it on Tradeovate. I mean, if you're trying to use your copier on TradingView, it doesn't work on TradingView, it works on Tradeovate. So you can't set up your copy. If that's what you're trying to do, it's not going to come up on here because it's not on TradingView. It's only on Tradeovate. So you can set it up on there and you have to execute the trades on your actual Tradeovate account. Yeah, I think that's kind of where your confusion is, Jay, because you're trying to set it up on TradingView, but you can't. It's not, there's no copier on TradingView. You'd have to use like a different platform like what I'm using, which is like NinjaTrader. But even so, you still wouldn't be able to do it because it's like a whole different process. I think you're on a different account as well. But yeah, just do all your trades on Tradeovate and set up your copier on there, Jay, and then that's where you can execute your trades. But you won't be able to do it the other way around unless you have some. Well, I mean, technically you probably could once you have it set up, but I wouldn't use a Tradeovate copier on TradingView. Yeah, because what I use Replicano, which is different. It doesn't require me to execute directly on that page. Yeah, no problem, Jay. I know it's kind of confusing because there's so many different moving pieces and you're not sure what's what and how the copiers work. But yeah, the group copier for Tradeovate is just Tradeovate. And then for me personally, I use Replicano, which is different. It's applied through NinjaTrader. All right, guys, so we got price pushed up right here. It's 7:34 right now. It's getting close to 7:40. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. 7:40 is typically my cutoff for entries. If we get a retracement right here, we might get a momentum divergence that might come up. So we're talking about a retracement right here and then correction back up for entry. But we've only got a couple minutes here, so I'm not expecting much to happen from now until then. We got price pushing up to the upper level of liquidity right there. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. Also, Drew said a possible MPS could be setting up as well. Yeah, possibly right here at the 50 mark. Possibly. It's just a little slow. Okay, so actually not yet. Let's see what else I'm missing here. All right, so we got some more team profits here. We got Jonathan with a total profit of Let's see, locking 200 per account. He has 4 accounts here, so we're going to say well over 800 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. Nice work on your PA account too. We have Maddie over here, trading 1 contract. Manually pulling and playing it. So Maddie over here locked in about 200 per account. He has, let's see, 200, 4, 5, 6. Maddie locked in about 600 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. All wins. And we have Kenneth over here. Total profit of 550 per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. We're going to say well over 3,000 for the day. And yeah, like Kenneth said, he said he got his 1 win for the day and he's done. That's the key thing, guys. If you guys can focus on just taking like 1 solid entry a day, you guys can work wonders. Like that's literally what I'm doing. I'm going for like 1 or 2 solid entries a day, and I'm good, right? So I'll edit my profit shortly once I hit 740. There's a MPS that's setting up right here, but it didn't actually fill. So we had this red candle here pull down. The entry would have happened right here at the 40, but it never filled. Price is back up, so it might reset for the MPS if this doesn't fill here. There was a pending sell signal though, so you might want to be careful because it's a lot tricky. It's pretty tricky if it's gonna swing around. Let's see, CJ's asking, was that divergence that hit at 732? I don't see any divergence over here at 732, CJ. So the divergence, in order for the divergence to happen, it would have to be bullish. So right here, see how it's now currently bearish? If this swings back up, this would be a divergence. So not this specific candle, but probably the next one. If we get that swing back up, that's going to be the divergence entry for a buy here. So basically what you're looking for is you're looking for momentum to swing up. You're looking for the divergence to pull back, and then you're looking for it to correct back up. So if you get another push to the upside right here, which it might not happen because the sell signal is coming up right here, then there might not be any opportunity there for divergence. But you guys can see how the market's currently moving. This is probably not the type of market you want to trade in. It looks like price just faked out above, and now it's pulling back into the range. So this is what I was talking about earlier with you guys. Same with Sadie. He was asking if like price was narrowing. It wasn't really narrowing because price was faking out. So there wasn't really a setup for a breakout here. The breakout's just a fake out. So price breakout above. And there we go for another fake out right here as price pulls back into the range. Same with what happened over here too. Price broke out above right here, and then it pulled right back into the range. It's a repeat concept. It just keeps happening, right? And this is typical for Trap Tuesday. So fake out, pull back into the range, fake out again right here, and then pull back into the range. This price goes right back down. You can still trade within these areas. If you guys want to take certain, like you can take momentum divergence, like momentum divergence will work well in these types of settings as well, because if you get a sell signal here, you're expecting the price to pull back into the range. So like you wait for price to push down, retrace, and go back down. But that's if you're trading without the trend. So for me personally, I like to trade with the trend. I don't like going against the trend because I like to have as many confluences as possible. But if you weren't trading against the trend, if you were trading against the trend, you can still probably catch some trades, in the opposite direction. Same with this right here, the divergence can still be bullish because we haven't got that sell signal yet. So if price swings back up, then you might be able to catch the divergence down here. It's just a tricky market. There's a lot of different scenarios here that are playing out. So the sell signal actually came up right here. Maddie said the MPS hit. So I think there was an MPS that came up right here. Yeah. So the MPS actually came up like right here on this red candle. Looks like it came down, filled it, and then it shot right back up to hit TP, and then it came back down right here. So I'm not sure if anybody took it. I didn't take it, so it's not counting as an official trade. The only official trade for today is going to be this one right here, which was the breakout V3 continuation. All right, we got some more team profits here. We got Josh. Josh locked in a total profit of 915 on his first account, and then 100 on his other 3 accounts here. So well over 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Josh. And we have Nikki over here with a total profit of about 2,300 for the day. Nice work, Nikki. All wins for the day. Solid work, guys. All right, 740 right here. So I'm not really looking for any more entries on my side. If you guys want to keep looking for entries, that's completely fine. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add up my profits for the day and the week so far. so that we can see where I'm currently at for the week. All right, so I locked in, let's see, 600 times 19 plus 800 plus 175. So I locked in 12,375 for the day. And then for the week so far, I'm currently up 1,116 times 19 plus 1316 plus 453. And I'm so glad that it's not it's all weird like it was last week, right? Last week was so difficult for me to add up the profits because they were all over the place. But this week they're a lot more aligned. So currently for the day, I'm currently up 12,375 for the day. And then I'm up 22,973 for the week. Not bad. We took 2 trades for this week. They were both kind of partial, but all wins for the week so far. So those are my profits for the day and for the week. 12,375 for the day, 22,973 for the week. All wins for the week so far. A little tricky, but all wins. So we got a buy signal right here. It looks like it might have aligned with momentum, but kind of tricky, but I think it did. So looking at it right here, this is the entry for, we would call this a pivot scalp. This is a pivot scalp right here. It's also a triple confluence actually. So it looks like it broke past this higher high. So triple confluence with a pivot scalp with a momentum divergence. It's pushing up right there. Maddie looks like he caught it. Yeah, it looks like it's about to hit full TP right about now. Full TP. Nice work, Maddie. I don't know if anybody else caught it. That was a perfect entry right there. Triple confluence. There's so many confluences here. There's 3 strategies. So pivot scalp, momentum divergence, high-low scalp, everything kind of lined up perfect. Kind of sad I missed it, but it's all good. It's after 740, so I wouldn't have taken it. It falls outside of my rules. So, like I said, I don't trade after 740 because weird stuff like this starts to happen. This candle actually happened right at 740. So, yeah, it's all good. Worked out. Yeah, Kenny said he caught the pullback to the blue pivot. Nice. So you caught it right down there. Nice work right there. Yeah, Maddie said it was close to the session, so he tried to get a better entry, not messing with the sessions. Double body at the high low. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of entries that came up right here, guys. If you guys were paying attention to the charts, there's a V1 pattern right here. There's a V1 variation. On top of that, you got a pivot scalp, momentum scalp, high-low scalp, momentum divergence. I mean, everything here just kind of lined up. So nice work to a lot of you guys here who caught that entry. Yeah, exactly. Drew said, wow, what an entry. Rejected right off the pivot. So there's a lot of confluences here. It even rejected off the pivot. So you have so many confluences off this entry. There is a V1 variation pattern. This is a reversal pattern. It also rejected off the pivots. This was breaking structure right there. So you guys can see that's like, I don't know, like 6 confluences right there. So that's what I mean. Like when I trade, guys, I like to trade when I have a lot of confluences, because when you have a lot of confluences, you have when you have a lot of confluences, you have a lot of confidence in your trade, right? A lot of people are scared to trade. You can't be scared trading. You got to be confident with every entry you decide to take. So don't take any shitty entries. Like don't take any bad entries. Take entries that you know for sure are going to hit, so that when you do hit, you feel comfortable. And when you do lose, you feel comfortable as well. You did everything you could to analyze the trade properly. But again, it was too close to the sessions too. I think I would have skipped this one for me personally. I think the trade from earlier today kind of threw me off this one, because I'm not going to lie, this was a little bit of a FOMO move for me. I did FOMO into this trade because I knew I should have kind of gave it a little more space, but I literally cut it at that exact dot right there because it was right at news price. And if I was a little bit off, I would have gone caught in this fake out right here. So it's all good. You just gotta roll with it. And if you know you're making mistakes, it's time to step away. So nice work, guys, on that there. So if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop into the chat. Otherwise, I think this will probably be it for the day. Let's see, we got liquidity up here too. So liquidity also got hit. There's a lot of things here, guys. There's a lot of confluences here with that last entry that came up. Yep. So you had liquidity right there. There's actually a lot of entries that lined up. We had liquidity right here. You had the breakout V3 is actually running right here too. I just realized there's a double body rejection. There's a lot of entries right there. So it's still technically running. I mean, I wouldn't mess with this here because it's so late into the session. As you guys know, we've kind of done the math, or we've done the kind of data with like the breakout V3. Typically the breakout V3 kind of sucks at the end because the volatility is so low. I mean, a lot of times it still hits, but it's a little too tricky. It's also at the sessions. So the confluences were just crazy on this entry here. So whoever identified that was a lot of stuff to look at. So we'll just count one V1, that's one confluence, high-low scalp, that's one confluence, pivot scalp, that's confluence, momentum scalp, that's confluence, momentum divergence, that's confluence, liquidity, that's confluence, breakout V3, that's confluence. That's like 7 or 8 confluences right there. So pretty solid. Pretty solid. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'm done for the day. I don't want to keep hanging out and then getting FOMO, watching you guys lock in all these profits. We got Madhu here with another win. Nice work, Madhu. Total profit of 200 for the day. Great work right there. And we have Drew over here. He locked in 1,600 per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts. So we're going to say well over 15,000 for the day. And for the week, he's up like well over 20,000. Nice work, Drew. We got more profits over here from Delicia. Delicia locked in 700 per account. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. So we're going to say well over 4,000 for the day. Nice work, Delicia. And we got Maddie over here. He added up a couple more profits. Locked up, let's see, 3, 5, 7,000. So about well over 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said small contracts again. He's building himself back up, which is perfectly fine. Take your time, guys. No need to force anything here. Even myself, I was kind of tempted today to increase my contract size, but I'm just sticking to 20. I had my goal to get funded or to pass these 300Ks by like May, but I'm okay with like passing them in like first week of May. I still have like 2 weeks in May, so I do have time. Right now, my accounts are currently at about 307,000, so I'm slightly away. Yeah, I need about like 12,000 left, 12 to 13,000 to be done. So, all right, guys, great trap Tuesday. Like Hawk said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.